This is how I made $26,875 with Betterment. In this video, I'll cover what Betterment is, their investment strategies, my 8-year experience with the app, and then my performance. And if you clicked on this video, you're probably either looking at the app to start investing with, or you just got started with Betterment and you might just have some questions about the app. Now, Betterment is a robo-advising platform that basically invests money for you in return for a small management fee. And it uses algorithms to consider your personal factors like age, risk tolerance, and creates a tailored investment portfolio for you. And robo-advisors are in general cheaper than investing with a traditional financial advisor, where you might pay upwards of 2% in management fee. And their whole mission is to make their people's lives better by helping people achieve what they want with their money. Okay, interesting mission statement. I feel like it could be a little bit better, but I see where they're coming from at least. And in terms of the number of users, they reported having more than 850,000 users in February of 2024. And they also reported having more than $45 billion in asset under management. And if you do some quick math, it comes up to around $52,941 per person, which makes sense given that their target audience is the average Joe. Like for myself, I started with much less than that when I first got started with Betterment, but Betterment really helped me to have a central location where I could pull my money in and just have it grow through investing. And I'll talk a little bit more about my personal journey with Betterment shortly. But now in terms of the investment strategies that Betterment has, it has 12 different portfolio strategies broken down into 4 different categories. Now you got stocks and bonds, just bonds, cash, and crypto. Now for stocks and bonds, Betterment offers the original core portfolio, which is pretty well diversified, low cost, and built for long-term investing. And it's made up of ETFs that have thousands of stocks and bonds across the globe. And for this video, I'll mainly stick with this portfolio, but just so that you're aware, within the same category at least, Betterment now offers socially responsible portfolios such as broad impact, climate impact, and social impact that focuses on companies that help with different missions and help to resolve social issues. Now, there are other portfolios within the same bucket, such as Goldman Sachs Smart Beta, Innovative Technology, and Value Tilt. Under the bond-only portfolio, there is the BlackRock Target Income, where it has 100% bonds, obviously, to help you against any type of exposures or risks that you might have. And under the cash portfolio, the cash reserves at this point earns around 5% APY with no fees on your balance, and FDIC insures up to $2 million for a single account, and $4 million for a joint account. Now again, for bonds and cash portfolios, I think it is quite safe to say that your investment with these two portfolios will be decently well protected, especially if you're close to your retirement age and you want to stay away from any type of big volatility or risk like that. And Betterment also offers crypto portfolio, which I actually did not know about up until now. But I am a little hesitant in investing a lot of money in crypto, so I won't go too much into it. But I would say just invest with the amount of money that you're okay losing, given how volatile crypto can be. Now, before I dive into my own experience and my performance, if you're enjoying the video so far and just getting value out of it, it'll help me so much if you could just like the video and subscribe if you're interested in personal finance videos just like this one. That would help the channel tremendously, and it will mean so much to me. And I'll do my best to just crank out the best videos for you guys. Now, going into my experience on why I even started using Betterment in the first place, I actually started investing my junior year of college. And I remember I actually wanted to start investing earlier, but I was pretty turned off by the $6.95 commission fee that was charged by TD Ameritrade and other similar brokerage firms, especially since I can only really invest maybe around $50 at a time, and I'm already spending maybe more than 10% of my deposit just on fees, which means I'm already starting at the negative return. And maybe if I wanted to, I could just pool my money first, and maybe I even wanted to see if there's a lower fees with other ETFs. I just remember that $7 fee was just a big deterrent for me. And then I found out about robo-advising, I found out about Betterment, and it just really clicked for me because my first pro for Betterment was that it was very easy to download the app, and it was just easy to navigate and just understand what's going on. And then the fees were also very minimal. It just helps that the user interface is so nice and things are just made sense. And the second thing I really liked about Betterment is that I don't really need to pick my own stocks, and all I need to do is just deposit a portion of my paycheck every 2 weeks, and it could just come out of my bank account automatically. Because for me, when I look into investing in individual stocks, there's a lot of risk that comes with it, and I get a little anxious given that all of my eggs are under one basket or in a few of them, And I get very uneasy just day to day. And I feel like I always need to be on the edge and always need to be informed about these stocks. And another thing for investing in individual stocks is that I always feel like I need to time the market well, knowing just when to buy into the stock and when to sell if I need to. But I know that if I invest in the overall market, I know that it can grow over the long term. And in terms of Third Pro, another cool feature for Betterment is their projected timeline, where you could actually base off of your current portfolio and your automatic contributions. They could actually guesstimate how much you'll have in 10, 20, 30 years from now. It just gives you a good estimations on where you'll be at, your best case scenarios and your worst case scenarios. And the fourth pro for me is that Betterment also made it super easy to do my taxes. So I'm able to log into Betterment account through my TurboTax. And when I do that, it automatically transfers all of the data and I don't have to manually input any of the numbers anymore. And because of Betterment, I was able to hit a lot of key milestones where I first was able to understand how investing works. I was able to max out my Roth IRA for the first time. And third, I was able to save and invest my first $100,000, which also included my 401k. And as a side note, I don't really have any experience with this customer service, so I don't really have an opinion on that. But if you do have any other questions or comment about Betterment, feel free to just ask them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to all of them. And if we have enough of these questions, I could try and create another video with all of your questions about Betterment and the app. Now, focusing more on core portfolio, it is a low cost and designed to generate long-term growth while reducing risk through diversification. And when you sign up for Betterment portfolio, it'll ask for your desired allocation of stocks and bonds. And I think a good starting point for most people will be at the 90% stocks and 10% bond allocation. And based on this, you get a good mixture of large, medium, and small cap stocks, international stocks, which will make up the 90%, and the other 10% will be allocated to 3 different types of bonds. And core portfolio has generated an annual return of 9.3% with a total return of 207%, which means a $50,000 starting balance would have actually gone out to $153,000 within the last 13 years. Now, I haven't been investing for 13 years like that with Betterment, but on June 30th, 2016, I started investing for the first time and made my first $3.97 off of a $600 investment, which I thought was pretty cool. So I started contributing as much as I could each week from my part-time job and internship. And by the end of the first year in June 28, 2017, I contributed around $3,400 and made around $355, which is more than a 10% return, which is considered really good. And a good thing to keep in mind is that when you're investing in anything, you're not always gonna be making money. Just like how S&P 500 fluctuates, your investments will also fluctuate, which means that you might have less money than you put in at different times. A case in point for me, at least, was March 2020, where I had invested $35,000 for the last 3.5 years. And then boom, I'm down $6,454. And in most cases, people would feel like they wasted that 3.5 years and that they had wished that they had invested that money in the first place. But the reason why you stay invested is that you never know when your stocks will drop in value, but you also don't know when your stocks will spike up in value. And you can see a similar return in the general core portfolio performance, where in June of 2016, it grew to $74,924 from the initial $50,000 investment. And then by March of 2020, the balance was still at around $78,000. But had you actually just sold at that point or not invested at all, you would have actually missed out on 98.9% growth since then, nearly doubling the investment within the next 4 years after that. And to be transparent, not all of this money is mine, since the jump here is when my mom asked me to invest $20,000 for her. And then I ended up investing that money into Betterment on July 2022. And right off the bat, it actually lost around 10%, which was obviously a bummer, but it was able to bounce back up. And since then, it has made a 20% return with $5,422, with $800 from being reinvested and $1,444 from tax loss harvest. And as of May 15, 2024, I earned $20,160 from Betterment, with around $64,525 invested into Betterment, with a grand total of $92,685 in the portfolio. And that includes around $7,600 in dividends reinvested and $4,600 in tax loss harvest. But I honestly wouldn't want you to base off your decision on whether to invest with Betterment just from the performance. Obviously, it is a big factor, but I would honestly base your decision more on other factors like the ease of use for beginners, automation that includes portfolio allocation, rebalancing, reinvestments, and tax loss harvesting. And number 3 will be the low cost of management. And you might also be wondering how the app really looks like and how easy it is to really navigate through the interfaces. You could actually watch this video next where I do a deeper dive on the app itself. And I even talk about how much I paid in management fee. So make sure you check that out next, and I'll see you guys there.